have you all here. So we'll do today a little bit different than we've done the last sessions. I'd love to explain a little bit about the practices we're going to do, and then we'll do three different practices. And I know that gratitude might seem like more of a November topic with Thanksgiving, but I'm a huge, huge fan of gratitude. The analogy I always think of is it feels like turmeric, the spice. Every time I read an article, it seems like turmeric is this miracle cure. Whatever ails you, a little bit of turmeric in your coffee or whatever you put it in is good for you. I feel like gratitude is the emotional or spiritual component. When I experience comparison or envy, when I can shift to gratitude, it tends to get me out of that comparison. When I'm feeling sad or lonely or afraid, if I can shift to gratitude, it tends to get me out of that faster. And so I just think that gratitude is one of those things like turmeric that the more you have of it, the better. So I wanted to walk through three different practices and I'll talk you through them each. Two of these three I try to do every single morning. And then literally at night when I'm going to bed, I try to get into this routine as well. And I'll high level them and I'll go into detail. So the first practice is what I call visceral gratitude or embodied gratitude, gratitude that we feel in our body. The second one that we'll talk about is what I call anticipatory gratitude, expressing gratitude for things that we don't actually have or experience in our life in the moment. And then the third one, and by far the hardest for me at least, is what's called radical gratitude, or expressing gratitude for things that we don't really feel grateful for. So let me walk through those three, a little bit of explanation, and then we'll go through a brief practice where we'll get to try each of those. So the first one that I mentioned, I call visceral gratitude. And I kind of view it sometimes as like when you're maybe in the shower and you lather up soap, you kind of get the foam going. I kind of feel like that with gratitude, where I try to think of things that rather than just saying them in my head, rather things that I can feel in my body. And a couple things that help for me is first of all, being as specific as possible. So rather than saying, oh, I feel grateful for my life, I'll say, oh, I'm grateful I was able to take my son to the school today and experience some really cool connection with him in the car. And I really want to slow down as much as possible and make this a felt sense in my body. If I can actually feel that gratitude, feel how grateful I am for that. And the second piece with this that I have is depending on your beliefs, you can, just say it in your head as I feel grateful for ... Or if you have some sort of spiritual belief, you could even say thank you for whatever it is, if you want to express gratitude to someone or something. And we'll go through, I'll try to give examples in our practice, but it's just really about feeling in our body as much as possible what it feels to be really grateful and excited. And one last thing I'll say on this is when I get in a rhythm of practicing visceral gratitude, I tend to start to notice more things positively, a lot of things that I take for granted. So I might notice, driving today, I wasn't paying attention and I shifted lanes and the car moved out of my way. I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that car shifted out of the way. That would have been such a drag for the day to have a fender bender. I start to notice tiny things that otherwise might just slip by. So that's the first one that we'll practice together. The second one is what I call anticipatory gratitude. And it's trying to express gratitude for either the things that we're wanting in our life or the traits that we're wanting in our life. So for example, I have a three-week-old daughter. She was born right before Thanksgiving. So I might, if I'm feeling into this, I might say, oh, I'm so grateful for the connection I have with my daughter. She's able to express anything to me. I'm able to be honest and direct with her. I'm just so grateful for a relationship where we're so open and supportive of each other. And I count that as anticipatory because she's 3. It's not like we have this relationship. I'm almost projecting ahead to the relationship that I want with her in the future. But the reason why I like anticipatory gratitude is I believe it really builds our faith muscle. And I think it also helps us clarify our intention. So I kind of run through this every night before I go to bed. I start with things I'm grateful for the day. I kind of replay the day and I try to pinpoint all the tiny things that I'm grateful for throughout the day. And then I shift into the anticipatory gratitude of the things that I've set, kind of goals for the year, things that I'm wanting in my life, ways that I'm wanting to show up. So even like with my company, with my business, also, I'm so grateful for the incredible clients I work with. They value my service. They're so much fun to work with. I enjoy working with them. I learn so much from them, kind of expressing gratitude for where I'm wanting to take my life. One last one, and we'll go into practicing these. The last one is called radical gratitude, and I learned this on a meditation retreat a long, long time ago. But the way that the teacher had explained it to me really stuck. And she talked about a friend whose bike was stolen. And rather than feeling upset, rather than feeling angry, he shifted into gratitude, which is really a superpower. So he said, "Oh, I'm so grateful that I've never been so desperate that I've had to steal from someone else. I'm so grateful that I have the money to replace the bike. I'm so grateful that no one was injured in this theft. I'm so grateful that nothing bigger was stolen." He immediately shifted something that most people, at least myself, would view as a really negative thing in my life. He shifted into viewing the positive there. And the reason why, although I struggle with radical gratitude, the reason why I love it is I think it really trains our brain into always looking for the silver lining, always looking for the positive. And I can get in a really negative spiral. I can really, have the rain cloud come over my head and I just feel like such a victim. When I'm able to shift to radical gratitude, it's a way to just really recognize how much I have to be grateful for. So in that example, I was in a small fender bender the other day, oh, I'm so grateful no one was hurt. I'm so grateful that the other lady had insurance. I'm so grateful that it would happen at a time where I wasn't late for any meeting. I'm so grateful that it wasn't worse. Just trying to find the positives. So we'll go ahead and shift just to a very brief practice where I'll try to walk us through all three of those. So I would invite you to, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, it can help to just tune out the visual distractions and just check your posture, that your shoulders, if you want to roll them up, back, and down, that you're sitting upright. And just take a deep breath in to arrive into this moment. And first, I'd invite you to practice visceral gratitude. So just in your mind, saying either "I'm grateful for" or "thank you for," and trying to be as precise as possible. And I want to give you space to do that, but I would encourage you to pay attention to your body, feeling the excitement, feeling the gratitude physically in your body. And I'll intersperse a few of my gratitudes as you do this, just as an example. I'm grateful that I had time to grab a healthy lunch today and that I was able to afford that, and how nice it is to have a warm meal on a cold day. I'm grateful that I was able to connect with a client today and he was really appreciative of my work and how good I am at what I do. It feels good to add value. I'm grateful I was able to go on a run this morning, that I've got a body that's able to move and that I'm got all my limbs and that I'm able to just run for enjoyment, that the weather supported it. Just continue, if you can, just finding a few more things to be grateful for in these last 30 seconds. And then bringing that to a close, we'll move on to the second one, anticipatory gratitude. And I would invite you to just let come to mind anything that you're wanting more of in your life. It could be connection with someone, it could be something physical that you're wanting, but more importantly, something emotional that you're wanting, something, uh, yeah, that you're just wanting more of in your life. And we're going to express gratitude as if we are experiencing that in this moment. And again, I'll try to give space for you, but I'll also chime in occasionally with an example of my own. I am so grateful for the connection I felt with family over the holidays, how I was able to unplug from work and just really be present with those I love. I'm grateful my wife and I were able to get a date night away from our two kids, even though one is just 3 weeks old, that we were able to get away, have time to just be with each other and support each other and feel seen and heard. I'm grateful that I was able to make a difference in someone's life over the Christmas holiday, that I was able to make some supporting gesture to someone who needed it, that I was able to lift someone up when they were feeling down. And again, we'll just take 20 or 30 more seconds here to express gratitude for something as if it were occurring right now. And then bringing that to a close, we'll practice just for a moment here radical gratitude, gratitude for something that we honestly may not be thrilled about right now. And I would invite you just to let pop into your mind anything that is just a drag today, anything that you are really frustrated about or just not happy about that just feels alive right now. For me, immediately comes to mind a client that canceled, that bummed me out. Uh, Comes to mind the fact that I unexpectedly needed to take my son to school this morning and it just threw off my schedule. Whatever it is, just let one thing come to mind that just irks you right now. And I would invite you to see if you can authentically find 3 to 5 things to be grateful for about that inconvenience. I'm grateful my client canceled for me. It's going to teach me to be even better at what I do. I'm grateful because it's creating space in my company for a client who's an even better fit. I'm grateful because it frees up my team's time and attention to focus on the clients that really value what we do. I'm grateful because it's reminded me not to cling to any one client too much. I'm grateful because it's reminding me to always be focused on sales and marketing to be attracting new clients so we're not reliant on anyone. So just continuing here for about a minute, trying to find those silver linings. And just as we did with visceral gratitude, trying to feel that part of you that can actually genuinely feel grateful, feel it in your body for something that may be good to come from this. And then bringing that to a close, we'll take one last deep mindful breath in. So breathe in deeply to your belly. Hold that inhale just for a second here, and then exhale fully. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you all for your time and looking forward to seeing you in the new year.